everybody. It's your girl, your favorite survivor, Vivian, and I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a introduction into School District 148. So I know that a lot of people have questions about school district and who they should vote for, and a lot of people are asking me like, what am I going to do? Because we're finding out that some of the people that we thought were for the children, for the district, are absolutely for continuing on taking our taxpayers' dollars, and we can't continue to have that. So without further ado, I am going to introduce to you guys one of the candidates that is on District 148 ticket, and I'm going to let him give you guys an introduction on who he is and what he have done in District 148 and what he plans on bringing to District 148 if elected. So let me add him to the stage now. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry. So just give him a second. Okay. Hello there. How are you today?
Blessed.
All right. So I didn't give everybody your name. So if you like to just go ahead first, start off by introducing yourself. And I did let them know that you have been part of District 148 previous to you running now. So just give them an introduction on what you have done within a community when it comes to District 148.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'd like to first pray before I start. If I don't want to offend anyone, I don't want to give the impression that I'm stepping on their toes, their religion, or um, whatever it may be. But Heavenly Father, the Father of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we're coming to you. Just thanking you for yesterday. Thank you for today. Thank you for whatever you're going to deliver tomorrow. We ask you to have your angels to be around each and every listener, each and every one of us in District 148 and beyond that. We
Amen.
just constantly say, Lord, forgive anything we have done or said that would hurt your people. And we're just saying, thank you, for giving this opportunity. And we ask you to get the individuals home safe from wherever it may be, so they'll have the opportunity to be able to listen to this podcast. And I pray that we do everything that you want us to do. In Jesus Christ's majestic name, amen.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you for opening it up with prayer. I appreciate that.
Yes,
So go
ma'am.
ahead and just give everybody a brief introduction about yourself and, like I
Okay.
said, what you have done within District 148 and just what your platform is on, what you're running, and then we'll just go from there.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Well, I'm Elder Ernesto Mickens. I've been in Dalton for 44 years. All my children graduated from District 148, and they are
So when
doing
you say
very
all
well.
your children, how many do you have? Okay, so
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stop you because it's very important that people know who your children are and what their
One
reputation
moment.
and
I'm
what
making
they have
it.
to, because you have raised some really good leaders that are in our community that that are doing big things. So I want people to understand that you're not just somebody that's running for the school board, but that you are a parent that have had kids that have came through District 148 as well.
Yes. I tell you, I am very, very, very blessed. I just have to put this on. Excuse me. Yeah,
That's okay.
I'm blessed that my children were able to get a fantastic education in District 148. My first daughter, she did 17 years in District 148. She graduated from Texas A&M University, and she had a job uh, in Texas. And there, you didn't have to have at that time a teacher certificate. They were going to pay her $15,000 more. And I told her, come back home where you can talk to these children and tell them that you sat in the same classroom seats as they did. It can't always be about a dollar. So she did 17 years. I said, the best place for you to work is from kindergarten to third grade. That's where you need your best teachers at to build a
Absolutely.
relationship. So she did 17 years. Now she is the IEA lobbyist. That's
Okay.
And she go all over the state and help these state senators and U.S. senators prepare them for if they want to put anything before the floor when it pertaining to public education. So,
Okay.
because a lot of them have not been in a classroom, so they need someone with that type of expertise that can
Yes.
articulate it and let them know to either vote for public education, whatever it may be, or against it. Now, that's the oldest one, Unique Morris Mickens. And quite a few
Hmm.
of these children been to school with my children. A lot of my
I
children
have,
are
so me and my sister, we have,
Mhm.
you know, my we have this, y'all have the same last name as my family's
Yeah,
same last name. So you're a Mickens and my sister's a Mickens, and her and Unique went to school together. And with her and Unique going to school together, I believe like on their high school graduation, she was
yeah.
notated for high honor roll when it was really your daughter.
Yes, that's something.
You noticed that? Name is her name is Mickens as well on their graduation thing. I still have it. It's funny.
Do you? Good
Yes.
for you all. Good for you all. But you know what? That last name is that's a good last name. That name is gold.
Yes.
But I stress education. When I came
Hmm.
44 years ago, I utilized public education District 148, and then it was majority. I would say about 95% Caucasian.
Absolutely.
And I my children came to school knowing how to read, basic math, how to write, because we had classroom setting in our home once they went to school. I joined the PTA and I got involved. And that's
Hmm.
what parents have to do. I made the educators do their job, not just to educate my children, but to educate my neighbors' children, regardless if they were
Hmm.
Caucasian, Hispanic, or Black. That's what it's all about. You can't never turn your back on someone else's children because yours is doing well.
Right.
And 10 of them graduated from District 148, from Franklin School to Lincoln School.
Okay.
I remember a guy told me, he said, you are Ernesto. I said, yes, sir. He said, you brainwash your children. I said, do I know you? He said, uh, you know, no, but you watch. I said, well, is that why I'm here for my children when they're getting high honors on honor roll? About 10 years ago. Now, this was like 25 years ago. I ran into the
Hmm.
same individual. He said, Mr. Mickens, my son said the Mickens children are extremely smart. I
Yeah.
handled my business. I did what I was supposed to do. My children was in school uniforms before we had school uniforms in
Hmm.
District 148. And individuals was questioning, is that the reason why they're smart because of school uniform? I explained to them I had too many children, 10 children, and I could not afford to be buying all these different clothes. So they knew exactly what they were going to be wearing in the morning. The
Right.
newspapers got a wind of it. And in District 148, and I was board president at that time too, we had my children to parade at Lincoln School, the old Lincoln School, and they questioned my children, asked them, how do you feel about school uniforms? And they told them the truth, that they feel very comfortable with it. And that's how we started school uniform. But
Okay.
let me tell you, I get my best ideas from talking to parents in either Food for
Hmm.
Less or any other stores, or if I'm in the service station, because they know what's best for their children. So if they know what's
Yes.
best for their children, it's going to help other individuals' children also. So, and I will give them credit and let them know it's because of these parents, because they're sending their greatest commodity, not their home or their car, but their children. That's why it's
Absolutely.
important for us to put the best qualified individuals with compassion that know
Absolutely.
the history of people of color. So they'll know why our
Absolutely.
children do certain things that other children do not do. And it does not mean that they're not capable of learning. It means that you need to have a relationship with them. Because when you have a relationship with a student, they're going to do better because they know you truly care,
They
not
know you
just sitting at
care.
that. Yes, that's imperative. These children know.
Yes.
They're not stupid. They know when they're being treated fair.
Yes.
I went to I I do prison ministry, and some of the individuals that are incarcerated, they said, Elder, we got love at home, We just didn't get love at school,
Yep.
and we got to do better.
You know
We
what?
have to.
That is so true because and I'm just gonna break away and tell the story because you put this on my
Yeah.
mind. But my son, he started District 148 from kindergarten to like 5th grade.
Hmm.
Now, when he was in 5th grade, that's when
Yeah.
I had my surgeries and stuff like that. So I went through
Yeah.
a lot for like over a year. And he was bullied a lot in District 148 because kids are mean. And you know that when they found out that sick, that I was in the hospital, they were
Yeah.
taunting him, trying to say little mean things about his mama. And one thing my son is going to do is he's going to protect me at all costs. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So if somebody
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
something about his mama or say like, I hope your mama don't make it, he's going to react and defend what people are saying. So
That's human
with
nature.
him doing things
Mhm.
like that, and just with him going in that school district alone, when the teachers never had compassion, they never had sympathy, even when they knew that he was at his lowest, with him almost losing his mom, they
Yeah.
didn't give him the type of compassion that you normally would do as an educator, and you know that somebody has almost lost their parent, and you know that they're being bullied, and you know that kids are being mean to them. They didn't care enough to stop that process. And that's one of the reasons why I pulled him out of that school district for over a
Yeah.
year, and he just got back in. And so like a lot of people might not understand my like reason for like trying to get this
Mhm.
out and address, but my son just
Yeah.
started back in District 148 because I waited as long as I could, because I
Yeah.
couldn't drive to get him transferred. So it was a lot that encompassing that. But when you say about compassion, I believe that these teachers and these educators and even the people that's on staff of District 148 right now, they don't have compassion, and all they want to do is make sure that their people are taken care of and not our children.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a problem. So sorry.
No, and you know what? Let me tell you, it starts from the head. It
Yes.
starts from the board president,
Yep.
the vice president, the
Mm-hmm.
secretary, and the school board members. You don't sit up and have a standards where this is the way we expect children to conduct themselves, and we the board acting like a fool, or
Yeah.
don't have compassion, or don't have time when individuals, parents say, "Oh, I saw your picture in the school, and I just want to explain." Say, "Oh, I don't have time." But come on now, these are the, these are
Yes.
these individuals are our boss. They're the ones that signed those petitions. They're the ones that sending their children to our schools. And
Mm-hmm.
when we send the children back, they should be even better, not just academically, but how to conduct themselves. It's
Now,
imperative,
let me
but you
ask you this
gotta
about
have compassion. Yes, ma'am.
let me ask you this. District 148, like you said, when you were involved with the school district, when we were all children, that was like the 90s, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then remember around that time, our community changed. So it went
Yeah.
from mostly Caucasian to a
Hmm.
mixed community, and now it's like 90% African American.
Yeah.
Now, our schools were in good condition around the time like when I was in elementary, because like when I
What?
started, we did have a lot of Caucasians. So I had a lot of white friends that went to school with me. I still
Yeah.
have some that's on my Facebook page now.
Hmm.
So it's crazy how when they did the white flight, that's the best way to describe it, they stopped caring, I think, about our children because our school district was good. It was run well. We had
Yes,
good teachers
ma'am.
in there.
No
We
question
had
about
great
it.
educators. And then all of a sudden, everything shifted. And then now our education for our children, even my daughter graduated 8th grade from District 148. From when she graduated until when my son is in there now, she had homework. He
Yeah.
doesn't even have homework. They don't even give the children homework at that school right now. And they're saying that because it's too much pressure on the kids. But is it really too much pressure for them to understand the information that they're doing in school for them to come home and retain it? Or is it too much pressure for you, because as a teacher, because you just don't want them to do the extra work to grade extra
Mhm.
homework? I don't understand the disconnect with them not wanting to teach our kids anymore.
Yeah. Let me tell you this, my sister. They talk about pressure. It's not just our children are just not competing with the students in District 148 or
Right.
205 or Chicago Metropolitan or the state of Illinois or United States. This
Mm-hmm.
is a global thing. They're competing against individuals that's coming to this country, our country that we help build, speaking 3 and 4 languages, and they know the metric system and they on
Mm-hmm.
point. Now, if they can send their children from a third world country here, then we have to do better
Yep.
because we have to understand our children are going to be the ones that's going to steer our country in the right direction. They're the ones
Yep.
that's going to, because these children are on point when it comes down to global warming. They on point. We can't fool these children. They'll Google us. We can't sit up there and say any and everything to these children because these
No.
children are crossing paths with our children, crossing paths with Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans,
Mm-hmm.
not ours. And they'll say, wait a minute, these children are just as smart as we are. People have to understand that it's imperative that we give our children everything they need, not just technology, but how to win
Absolutely.
this game of life, how to sit up there and understand how to communicate. And we need to communicate with them instead of just sitting up there putting a computer in front of them and let them go at it. We have to communicate with these children, or else they're going to lose the ability to be able to communicate. And are these individuals that we want to be running the country? Are these individuals that's not going to know anything about as a black man? I've been a black man all my life. No, not one thing about the contributions that we have made in this country.
Absolutely.
We can't afford to have amateurs at the top of public
No.
education. We
No.
can't afford that because we have somebody in that house on Pennsylvania that I don't even want to call it because it's never been a White House. Not
Mm-hmm.
not for my people. It's been a house of hell since we
Yes.
came
Yes.
here 1619. That house on Pennsylvania, we think that we had it bad in the past. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling folks, we had more of an opportunity from December 2024 going all the way back to the late 50s than our children are going to have now. We cannot afford not to get out here and work hard and make sure our children get everything they need. And if folks don't understand that, then they shouldn't be working in public education, not teaching our children. You're not
Listen.
going to sit up and just wait till you can get a pension or sit up there
Mm-hmm.
and make sure because this is my buddy and he the superintendent and he making $500,000 a year.
Okay,
And
so
my
let's talk
and
about that. I know you know the details around this issue with this superintendent, and this is very important for the parents and everybody else
Yes,
that is
ma'am.
watching this video. And I know you know all of the key players. So let's talk about this vote that just happened. Can you shed light on exactly what's going on and why it's important that you are able to get into the office because of what they are doing? Can you spread light on that?
Yes, ma'am. Let me tell you. Anytime an individual have yes people on a school board that's going to say yes to anything because they say good morning to you, they trying to put you to sleep. If everybody's thinking the same, somebody's not thinking.
Mm-hmm.
My personal opinion on the school board, I never backed any superintendent with a contract past 2 years. One, because every 2 years there's an election. Maybe the new board that's coming in may not feel comfortable with the direction the superintendent's going in, and they can change. But to sit up there and give a superintendent 4 years, y'all here already get 3 years on the contract, now want 3 more, that's insane. We making people a millionaire. It's nothing wrong with making money. But look, I want you to put that money where it belongs in these schools to make sure that our children are able to compete at a high level. These parents is doing the best that they can up under the conditions that we living in. And we are not going to sit up there and let folks just feverishly just throw money up in the air because nobody's watching. We are watching.
And
And
that's
these
the
folks
crazy
know.
part is they don't think that we are paying attention. But when it comes to his pay scale, how many years have he been in this district? And
Oh
what
man.
do you know what he's where he started about? What was his initial pay rate?
Okay. What we did is the superintendent came in as the finance manager.
Okay.
We had a intern superintendent, Dr. Mickens. She recommended um, the individual we have now as the business manager. When he came in, okay. So we had, she was leaving, it's intern. So we had to make a decision who was going to be the new superintendent.
Okay.
He had a superintendent endorsement. So, and I voted for him. I voted for him to get the position. I said, well, we're going to save money in the dual roles, and
Okay.
we combined it. But then we realized, in my personal opinion again, you have to have individuals that have been in the classroom to
Mm-hmm.
understand what our children are going through. If I'm going to pay you big money, I need to know that you are not going to just spend so much money making it top heavy in the business office. So these
Mm-hmm.
folks can look the other way. We have some good people, working for District 148. But can we afford to pay individuals the money that they're doing
Right.
now? I told our assistant superintendent, I had a family emergency. My dad wasn't doing well, so I was not able to go to the finance meeting. And I told the assistant superintendent, and she knew, and I called and told her, I said, I wouldn't have never gave you extended contract. I wouldn't have never gave you the money they gave you. I'm honest with folks. So I can say their names. But when
Right.
we have a board, and we have some board members that did not vote for extended contract. This past, and I was at the board meeting, and they did not grant extended contract. And I just thank God that we had board members that stood up and said no. Now we have all these candidates running for the school board. I wonder why. And I guarantee you, some of these individuals that get elected, they're going to give the superintendent extended contract. I know for a fact that's what they're going to do. They load it up, hoping that we could get at least two of these individuals in. Then we have the majority and we can go do whatever we want to do. But they know
Mm-hmm.
Ernesto Mickens, I'm going to scream and holler. When you go to the doctor, you say, what do you feel pain? You feel pain, you scream and holler. Uh,
Absolutely.
Feel pain if you're going to sit up there and take this money and think this is Winnetka, Glencoe, and Naperville School District, where they have $1 million homes and have all this high taxes, and they spending it to educate their children. You can't do that here. We want people to have a labor of love to educate our
Absolutely.
children. That's going to say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I know they can't afford, but I love what I'm doing. When I
Mm-hmm.
give these children their diploma, you just get paid. It can't always be about, being prestigious. I'm a school board member and we going out of town all the time, going to the finest hotels, eating the best food. While
And
my
that's another
people
thing
are
on
at
our
home in District
dollars.
148, yeah. Wait a minute. And then you go to these conferences to educate yourself to be a better board member, and you don't
But you're
bring no
not.
information back. I got a problem with that. That's why we need to make sure up on the Freedom of Information, every 2 months, we want to know how the board voted. We want to
Yes.
know, have they brought information back from these
Yes.
conferences? We want to
Yes.
see these things so we'll know you on point. So when things go astray, you can sit up and say, but you know what? I did my homework. But if that's all
Mm-hmm.
you're doing is going to enjoy yourself and take whoever, your spouse, and you're going to eat good and not thinking about the children in District 148 and you hobnob with all these folks, I got a problem with that.
Listen,
You know,
as a parent, I have a problem with somebody making that extreme amount of money. And number one, our school is failing. Number two, our reading and our math scores, and I'm just going to say my son is part of this team where he's reading and doing math below grade level because he was raised in that school district. So even when I put him into a Midlothian school district, he wasn't there long enough to actually be on his grade
Yeah,
level. So now he's back into District 148. And that's going to be
yeah,
my biggest issue and biggest concern is how do I keep him on track from the school that he was at that had actual educational structure
yeah.
back to this school that I had to fight with to even get him the special help that he have now because of the school that he transferred to, which was in Midlothian.
Yeah.
You understand?
Now,
So it's a lot. So it's like, as a
it's just
parent,
not affecting. It's
as
just
a
not
parent,
affecting your child. It's affecting us.
how do we get our voices really heard with this administration, with this pay structure, with these pay scales, and make sure that this superintendent does not get this raise? Why can't we see what he's done for the school within the last year to qualify him to get this pay amount? What has he done to help our students that sets them aside from other schools? If he doesn't answer those questions, why is he deserving of this high amount of pay raise? I don't
Well,
get it.
well, when you have your buddies are board members, and you say good morning to them, and they happy because somebody said good morning to you, or smiling at you, you know, we got a problem. If you're having problems, you're not the only one. There's other individuals that's having problems and don't trust the IEP. And I tell folks, a lot of times with the IEP, it isn't because they're not capable of doing the work. It's individuals don't understand that our children move around.
They
You
learn
know,
differently.
we do. But if a teacher don't have a clue about the culture that you're teaching,
You won't
then
know
they're
how to
not
teach
going to
them.
have empathy. Will not understand why that child is
And it's
coming to
funny you
school
say
and they,
that because my mom's on this live, but she can attest to when she came to help me during my surgeries. And my
yeah,
son came home crying one time and, saying that the teacher called him stupid. That shut him down from education for a while because no educator should ever say that to a child. But you guys are not empathetic or sympathizing to my situation and what he is feeling from the hurt from his mom. So instead, you're taking it out on him because y'all think that he's being this kid that y'all don't know how to, like you said, educate. So if you don't know how to educate them, that's one thing, but you don't use our kids as trial bases and fail them
amen,
because you don't
amen.
understand what you're doing.
Right. And spending $200,000 and $300,000 on programs for it to be experimentation on our children. Then when they modify it, get it right, it go to Zion School District. No, you don't use our children as experimental base. No, you can't do that. And we're not going to allow it. That's why it's so important. I'm so glad that people have stood up and said, hey, enough is enough. Now we have to focus on the school district, Dalton, Riverdale, Harvey, South Holland municipality. Okay. But when it come down to our children,
Yeah.
the public education, the school districts are more important because it directly affect our future. These are going to be the children that's going to say, mama, daddy, guardian, neighbor, what were
Mm-hmm.
you all thinking? You all let them do anything to us. You know, I'm nervous and scared because we don't know if a child's sitting up there nervous and shaking, something's going on at home. Do you
Yeah.
care? Say, hey, baby, how you doing? Everything okay? What can I do to make your day better? But to sit up there and just don't care, thank God that we had during the 60s and the Black Panther Party put together the food breakfast program. Thank God for that because some of these children, the best meal that they get is
Is
from
at
school.
school.
The
My
best.
dad is an educator, so he works at a high
Mhm.
school as well as he teaches on a college level, and he says the same thing about the kids. And he works at a school that's not out here in the south suburbs; it's in the
Yeah,
city of Chicago. But when the children come to class to school, that pre-morning meal that they get, that they get, and whatever else that they pass out throughout
yeah.
the day, sometimes that's the only thing that children eat. And I've been grateful that my son had to go through that where we've been like completely without food or completely without a way to feed ourselves. But that happens a
Yeah.
lot in a lot of households, and people don't understand. Sometimes it's not even the kids acting out; it's the kids doesn't understand what's going on inside their houses, because a lot of people don't understand
Yeah.
when you have children that's going through trauma. Like, I'll just bring my son in, like what he was experiencing. Unless you understand the full length of what a child goes through, he almost lost his mom. And instead of the school, understanding what I was going through, they really, they really did a lot of things that made him hate school, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want my son to not want to go to school because he feel
Hmm.
like he's being bullied, he's being targeted, kids are bothering him, teachers are being mean to him, teachers are not listening. So, we how do we get our kids to that level where we can make sure that the teachers are teaching, make sure that the school district is doing what they're doing to benefit our children, like us as parents? What do we do to make sure that we are getting what our children deserve?
Yeah. It's partnership with the school district, like the board. We are we are the in-between individuals. We're the ones that bridge the gap from the community to District 148, the administrators. We have to
Mm-hmm.
all do our part. We have to do all, because if we have a parent that may be falling by the wayside on certain things, then
Mm-hmm.
if we see that person in the community, we can address it and let them know what can we do to help you
Mm-hmm.
make it better. It's like, a person is hurting if you've been trying to call them and their phone is off. So what
Right.
do? You say, hey,
You
your
need
phone is
something?
off. Hey, how much is it? 80? Handle your business, because we're in a position to help God's people. But
Yeah.
these children, when we see them outside at the store, sometimes some of these children are going in and just saying, I just want to get something to eat so I can bring
Yep.
home. So what do? I don't have the money, but I can sit up there, maybe sneak and put something in my pocket. But when we can sit up there, community leader, be out and about in the community and see these children can sit up and say, hey, Mr. Mickens, this is what's going on in my house. We try our lights out. Well, my job is to help send them in the direction to get their lights cut back on. You know,
Listen.
because can nobody say it never happened to them? But it's imperative. Here it is. We are in a position to educate and determine the direction that our community is going to go in. We
Yeah,
cannot sit up there and just go to a board meeting and forget about what's going on outside our house. We can't just sit up
absolutely.
there and from home to work, from work to home, from home to church. You got to have the community in that. You have to get
Absolutely.
out. You need to know who your neighbor is. You need to know who these children are. Like, it takes a village to raise a child. So if I see someone's child doing something they have no business doing, I'm going to address it. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
When that child say, hey, Mr. Mickens, he told me don't run across the street, and he told me this or that, the parents will say, well, I know Mr. Mickens because he gave me my diploma when I was in elementary school. So I know
Right.
that he cares. I know he's going to come with some encouraging words and let them know, hey, listen, it's going to get better. So I have to do more as an individual. I cannot turn my back on somebody else's children because my children are doing well.
Right.
Because the God I serve is watching me saying, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Your children are blessed. It's imperative that we bless other individual children. And if we have to be at that school board meeting to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure we do our job, so be it. You know what you signed up for. Okay,
Yeah,
we don't get paid. But when them children get their diploma, we just get paid. When them children come
absolutely.
back from high school and say, hey, thank you so much. I remember when you sit up and told me that I could do better. I remember you sitting up there telling me about the history of where I come from and how my
Mm-hmm.
name is important and make it good. That makes you feel good. Let
Absolutely.
me tell you what happened to me. I was in my pickup truck. My back was turned, and I felt something behind me. I turned around. It was three individuals there, and The one in the middle, he said, I know him. I know him. That's Mr. Mickens. I went to school with his children. He knows my mother. The other two guys were looking at each other, and I'm looking at all three of them. I didn't recognize that child. I said, who is your mother? And he said who his mother was. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I said, well, what have you been doing? He said, I just got out of jail. I'm looking for a job. I said, you tell your mother to give me a call. And what I'll do is, if we can't find a job for you, we can try to create a job for you. Now,
Yeah.
what if I was a parent that didn't have no time for other individuals' children? What if I was an individual that talked down to that kid
Mm-hmm.
and put my mouth on him and gave him the
Right.
impression he didn't exist?
Yes.
I probably wouldn't be talking to you all right now. So
Period.
we have
Yeah.
to do a part. That kid recognized Mr. I did not recognize him, because children, when they get older, they look different.
They definitely do.
But I said after that, and he walked away, I said, thank you, Jesus, that I had a rapport with his family. He went to school with my children, and he
Mm-hmm.
recognized who I was. Said,
Yeah.
thank you, Lord. We have to sit up there and go beyond the call of duty. We have to
We
sit up there
do.
and increase the student academics, because these children are going to be the ones that's going to be talking to the doctor when we get older. And we don't
Absolutely.
want them to be tied tongue. We don't want our children to be sitting up there and the doctor's trying to explain things to them, and they don't have a clue. These
Exactly.
children are going to be the ones that take care of us, going to determine if we have a pension, have social security. But the way things are going, we have to we have to really fight for public education, because
You know
a lot
what?
of us can't afford to send our children to private school. And that's
We
what this
cannot.
individual on
We
Pennsylvania is doing.
cannot. Oh my God. So it's funny you just said it. So I'm reading the comments now, right? And Grandma Tina and cynical staff have a good point of view, right? So kids, a lot of times they do feel invisible because these kids this in this age and this era
Yeah,
are going through way more than we did when coming up in the 80s and 90s, right?
I concur.
And there's so many distractions out here for our children that, if we do let them sit on their phone all day and just ignore them and don't say nothing, or just not be a parent to them, then they're
Mhm.
always going to feel like they have to go out somewhere and do something different to get
Yeah,
attention because they might feel invisible in the household. And then it
right.
goes towards like the same thing at school when kids have like social interactions or they're awkward socially. And so how do we change that to get the kids more together? And then like with what cynical Steph said, Dan Lee, he made a speech yesterday at the Thornton Township meeting, and he was
Yes.
talking about how we used to have like after school programs, and I
Yeah.
remember that at
Social center.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
We used to have badminton, volleyball, basketball, like all type of programs. We used to be able to do our homework after school. So like stuff like that, it's not even really part of the school system anymore. And I don't understand what was the reason why it went away, but how can we start getting back acclimated in the community and start getting our kids together to try and make sure that they go over and above, even if the district is not doing what they're supposed to do with our kids. Like
Yeah.
we as parents, we have to come up with other goals and other ways
Amen. Yeah.
to make sure that we still are educating our children.
Mhm.
So
Let me
what
tell
is
you,
your opinion on that?
we have to, as parents, we have to have a better relationship with the teachers, so they'll feel
Yeah.
comfortable saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't mind volunteering some time after school, to make sure that these children are not on the streets, but in the
Mm-hmm.
schools. We had social center. We had skating in the schools. We had some of the classrooms were set up where you can sit up and learn chess. You can a lot
Yes.
of different things to keep us off school. Then afterwards, it would be over like at 9 o'clock. And our teachers, they would go home. Sometime they had family members to drop their children off to participate in the schools. But when the teachers realized that we got your back, we're trying to send the best product that we can send back to the schools, but we got you. And we want you all to have our children. We need to know that our children are going to be safe. We need to know that our children are not going to feel like they're being neglected or they're invisible. But it's this partnership We got to
Yeah.
develop it. It's not us against you, but it's about we. It's about us. But I'm going to tell you, it starts with the top. It
Yeah.
starts with how that individual at the top feel about it. Are they taking this position serious? I don't want to hear no, well, I don't get paid for it, so why should I have to?
That's the biggest thing. How do we get teachers to stay involved when they are off the clock for the end of the school day? So if school is out at 2:30 and they have to finish up and be off the clock by a certain time, how do we get them to stay involved with our students and educating them, especially if all of the money is going to the school district board and not to our teachers? Because our teachers, are they still paid correctly or are they underpaid?
Really, let me tell you, my sister. In our country, our educators are underpaid. Our educators are not being appreciated like in other
Right.
countries. They put educators right at the top. No one can say that they ever achieved anything or accomplished
Without a
anything without
teacher.
an educator. But the educators, they have to realize, hey, we with you. We got you. We're not going to send our children where you have to sit up there and you spend 15 and 20 minutes with a child that just don't want to act right. Then that's why we have IEPs. But when they know, they got us. When I'm in those schools, they know it. The teachers know. I say thank you for everything you're doing for our children. I'm encouraging them. I know they're not being paid the way they should, but I'm a strong believer. If our education system was on point, an awful lot of educators would not be sending their children to private school. They'll be having their children, because
Absolutely.
I'm getting a good education right here in District 148. Want to attract good,
Right.
strong individuals, good people, want good people to move to District 148? It starts with public education. That's why individuals
Absolutely.
move to Homewood Flossmoor, because they know their children's going to get a good education. So they
Yeah.
don't have to send their child or homeschool them or send them to a private school. We have to do our part. And you know, because you was up under that system in District 148, our children was on point. That was
We
the only
was.
way that,
We
that I was
were.
able to
And
get. Let me tell you, I went to Winnetka, I went to Glencoe, I went to Naperville, I went to
mhm,
Schaumburg. This was some time ago. I saw those schools, beautiful lighting,
mhm,
walls painted well. I mean, fantastic. Who wouldn't want to teach there with this type of environment? I said that
absolutely.
if they can do it, and we got all these old schools in District 148, we can do it. I
Mhm.
started lobbying. I got Emel Jones to come and look at these broke down buildings. The people in the community said, hey, you know what? We believe in what you're saying. Because I had more children than anybody else in District 148 in District 148. So they knew
Right.
I care.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
had that referendum to build Harriet Tubman. We had money for Lincoln School. God is good. I said, wait a minute.
Mhm.
If they can do it, what's the difference? Just because this community is turned drastically over? Wait a minute. We care about education for our children like anybody else, but we want you to do your part.
Absolutely.
And you got to have you have to have a partnership. We had a partnership with the union, with the teaching union and the support
Mhm.
union. The trust factor was there because they said these folks are going to do what's right.
Mhm.
That District 148, not sit up there because I got a buddy that live in Wisconsin. He have a business. I'm gonna sit up there and let him get money from District 148. Before we built those schools, I told Greg Anthony, who was the business manager, I said, what I like to do is this. I like to break the contract down instead of a general contractor that's going to cover the whole building the schools. Let's break it
Mhm.
down so minorities, people of color, be able to be it on plumbing, electric, things of that nature. That's the right thing to do.
Right.
So these children can say, hey, you know what? I like to go in that profession because I see this business of my parent doing well. Now,
Yes.
these folks that sit up there and we need to question, hey, listen, how many minority businesses are you doing business with? I'm concerned. Look at me. Who do I look like? I look like
That's a
a
huge
brother.
thing within our district, and it's only because we have to show our children that we are active in our community as well, and that we can do the jobs that we hire out people to do.
Yeah,
And it's people that have parents in this community that could be contractors for the school district that live
absolutely.
in the community, and we should
Absolutely.
be able to let them bid for those jobs and be able to
Yes,
do
ma'am.
those jobs. And then that way, their kids can be proud of, hey, my father helped me build this school. It's
Yeah.
stuff like that that they absolutely need to start thinking about, and putting back into the community.
And that will encourage their children. If they see that their
Absolutely.
father or mother has a business and at least they can pay the bill, they'll say, you know what? I want to work my family business. I want to see a business card seeing someone that look like me and it's generation after generation. I'm not mad at
Absolutely.
nobody. I'm just in
Absolutely.
love with my people. I had individuals to
Absolutely.
sit up there and say, and they know that was a fib. Oh, Mr. Mickens, he gonna try to get rid of all of the white teachers. Give me a break. For one thing, I never saw nobody white. I would not get rid of Caucasians because they're Caucasian. That's crazy. That's foolish. You can't do anything like that. But I
No.
am going to demand that these children see people that look like that. Like my brothers and sisters, my Hispanic brothers and sisters, see people
What
that look like them,
pay
that
rate
speak
that
like
the
them.
superintendent is getting now? What would you suggest if you were part of that conversation? Like, in your opinion, would you suggest that we hire and seek out a new superintendent that is fresh to the school district that can bring about change? Or would you just consider us continuously failing and
No,
allowing this to stay on board for 3 more years, which is ridiculous when you have no real record of success?
I would. Let me tell you my personal opinion. People can be mad. Be mad. I would, if up under the law, encourage your millionaire retire. So we can get fresh ideas. So we can get individuals that's going to come in and say, hey, we're going to bring we're going to bring the academics to another level, a higher level. We need
Yes.
fresh eyes. We need individuals that's going to sit up and say, you don't have to pay me, or because we're not as long as I'm on that get reelected on that school board. We are not going to pay somebody all this money. I want to see what you can do. I
Right.
need to know that parents to come up to me and say, hey, you know what? Man, I like that principal. Man, I like that superintendent. Oh,
Yeah.
that board member made me feel so good. We're human beings. We have to care about, we are our brother's keeper. It's imperative that we care and hold everybody accountable,
Yeah.
starting with me. Check to see how I vote, what material I'm bringing back from these conferences,
Yes.
making sure that I'm going to keep a dialogue with my community. When people come to me, I get my best ideas from people in the community. I can say, listen, this
Absolutely.
is the direction you can go in. Address it to the teacher. If you can't get any resolution from the teacher, then go to the principal. Okay,
No.
if that's not working, then go to the superintendent. If that's not working, then you come to the board and we're going to address it. And I'm not going to
Right.
sit up there because somebody said good morning to me. I'm going to sit up there and turn my back on my boss is my heavenly father. But
Right.
these folks that signed my petitions, these individuals that voted for me to get on school or vote against me, that's my priority. Those
Yes.
individuals are my boss. And they don't have to say good morning, have me to smile and grin and all that from that. I want them to be able to say, you know what? I know you the eyes and ears on that board. I'm not asking people to vote for me to be on the school board, to be board president, but I'm saying this. If you want somebody that's going to make sure it's transparent, I'm that guy. You want somebody that's going to scream and holler when he see wrong on that board and what we're doing with the finances, then I'm that person because I care. These are our children, my neighbor's children. My children got a good education. My grandchildren, and it's come on, we have to do better. But we
We
have to
do.
make sure that individuals are going to do what's in the best interest of our students. That when we sit up there and give them
Absolutely.
their diploma, they say, wow. 205 say, you know what? You all went back to the way you were. These
Yep.
children, because 205 said it, that them children that come from District 148, they on point. Now, this came from their mouth because we
I
demand
agree.
excellency and we demand you gonna do your job. Don't sit, I don't want some teacher that another school district don't want, and you gonna learn on my children, and then we spend all this money to educate you and you go somewhere else. No, I got a
Right.
problem with that. But when they know that it's a partnership, we can do something. And but parents have to come to these school board meetings.
We do. We have
It's
to get out. We
important.
have to get involved, and we have to know what's going on. It's funny you say that because Dr. Whitaker, that's a big topic within the community
Yes, it
right
is.
now.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes, it
I actually worked a little
is.
with Dr. Whitaker before my son was transferred out of the District 148.
Yeah.
So like me and her were emailing back and forth because of the things that I was telling you about what my
Yeah.
son went through. Now, can you explain, because I watched the video that somebody put out today, and it gave us like a brief like introduction into what happened with her. But can you shed light to people, because I know you know her personally, like just her situation, if you don't mind?
Yeah, let me tell you, I was not on the board when
I know, I
when
know,
those
I know.
things took place. But I will
No,
tell
I
you
know.
that she is recognized all over the country. We had an opportunity and hired an individual, and I was board president at that time. A person that so many districts within the state of Illinois and outside state of Illinois wanted her, but she chose District 148.
Mm-hmm. And
She
she was
was
excellent.
on point, no question about it. And when I heard a little bit about what went on with her, I'm saying, the boy got to be crazy. This lady is on point. She demands excellency from our staff, and that's what I want. I don't want somebody to say, oh, it's okay, you'll be okay. I want an individual that's going to sit up and say, this is imperative that we put our best foot forward. Treat these children like it's your own. Or bring your children, I guarantee you, let individuals bring their children to District 140. You work for District 148? Okay, get a home, live in District 48, and your child go to school. I bet you people gonna do a better job. And I guarantee they wouldn't
Absolutely.
have never let her go. That was it to me. That's insane. That woman is on point on what she's doing. And you sit up there, and I was in a state of shock, but it's nothing I could do because I wasn't no
It
longer on the
wasn't
school board.
right.
But I would have to say thank you for what you did in District 148. And it's our loss. What
It's a
happened?
huge loss.
It
It's a
is my
huge loss for the whole community. And the thing about it is that we have to try and continue to have people in place that want to educate kids, and it's not for compensation, it's
right.
because it's in their heart. And if you don't these individuals, then our school systems is going to continue to fail because a lot of adults are just thinking about their pockets and they're not thinking about the children because, like you said, their kids are not in the school district. So they could care less really if our kids are learning or not. A lot of them, and I'm not going to say everybody, but
Right.
for the ones that voted yes to that pay raise, that was a slap in the face to all of us residents, especially because our kids are failing. So what makes you think that a superintendent deserves that pay raise and we want to keep him around when he won't even show us what he have done to make that amount of money?
Yeah. You for that kind of money, you have to really show me something. We better
Like
have a
I was in HR for 12 years. And let me just say that I've hired so many people that was in leadership. And I understand that when you have these certain positions, you have certain job targets that you have to hit in order
Mhm.
to keep that position, because especially when it's contractual, So you should be able to show us, the community, what you have done in this 3-year contract that you have just completed, for us to want to sign another 3-year contract or however many year contract
Yeah.
that he's looking to get approved. But why would you guys not want to give us his accolades and what he have done within the school system in the last 3 years? Like, I don't understand what would we not gain from that? Like, why would that be something that they don't want to turn over?
That's a win-win when you can sit up there and say, this is what I accomplished. And these individuals that's graduating from District 148 is going on the 205, wherever it may be, and they on point. When other school districts say, hey, job well done, you all are handling your business, you doing what you're supposed to do. And we know when these children leave 205 and go somewhere else, like one of our students, he went to Notre Dame. He was freshman of the year. Now he was attend Franklin School, Lincoln School. That's success. So many of these children are doing well, and we should encourage them. Hey, listen, come back to District 148, buy a home or rent or whatever, because we making this district, the school system, on point. But who's going to want to send
nobody's going to
out
want
to
to come to Dalton because of this Tiffany Hilliard saga. That's the whole thing. Tiffany Hilliard has ruined Dalton, and I think that we can rebuild. I know that we can do better. But I think overall, she has ruined a lot of things in Dalton. And I think that the corruption in these suburbs is so deep and so like hard to even angle that it's like we missed the school district because we fighting for her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what? You know what, my sister? If it's one thing that was accomplished because of what went on, everyone all over the country, all over the world
Is
know about
watching Dalton.
Dalton. And see, they know about Dalton. That means that all of these companies that have companies outside of Illinois, have companies outside of Chicago Metropolitan, we can sit up and tell them, hey, wait a minute, look, we're right over here by Bishop Ford. We have Indiana right over here. We have a railroad hub right here. And we have affordable houses right here. We could attract so many businesses to come to Dalton. So I
when we
say,
get Hilliard out, but you know that Hilliard wasn't given business licenses. So therefore, all of the ones that we could have, would have, should have attracted during her tenure, that was not going to be the case, because unless they were willing to pay to play, she wasn't going their way.
and see, that's small town politics. That's mom and pop grocery store stuff. You know, I'm talking about conglomerates that's gonna sit up there and bring a strong tax base for us to relieve the people that live here in Dalton, that's going to provide big time jobs here, that's going to have other just like in Tinley Park, Orland Park.
Definitely. Well, now we can. Yeah, with Clean House 2025 in there, now they have the opportunity to rebuild Dalton. They one of their plans and their focal points is to bring new businesses into the community, and to make sure that they do something with the housing and all of that. So they have a task in front of them. They have a large task, but the biggest thing about with businesses right now is that once she out of office, once they are able to actually get into office, they'll be able to start sourcing new business, because I'm sure they have a lot of businesses that want to come in the community, just like the Park District. I just went to their meeting Tuesday, and they have the same issues with Hilliard. Like, until she gets out of office, until Clean House 2025 takes the reign in May, there's a lot of things that they have on hold that they can't do with their own parks, because she have certain orders against them. So it's like she have really ruined and plagued our village. But our school districts, I'm gonna say everybody, but we was not so focused, because we were focused on fighting. And now it's like we we lost. We're losing our children. We have to figure out a way where we can get these kids back up like they're supposed to be and get the
We
morale up. Like, how do you make a kid want to go to school when the environment at school is not good for them?
Yeah, that's right. You know what? It all, we want people to want to come and work in District 148. They driving through all these other school districts and they say, man, I enjoy working in District 148. We have the parents, the communities on point, and the children, they happy to go to school because they getting loved at
Yep.
school. And then when they come home, they can show love to maybe a dysfunctional home. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times children bring their parents to church. So if we all do our part, the municipality of Dalton, the municipality of Riverdale, the municipality in South Holland, municipality in Harvey, if we all work together with the park board, the library board, and the school
Definitely the
board,
part. Yeah.
we can attract so many good people, but we all have to be on point. We can't have no hidden agenda. We can't sit up there and go in behind closed doors and sitting up there cutting deals and then come out in front of the public. And if for anybody to sit and tell me when we come out, we're going to all vote the same way. That's a lie. Not with
No,
me.
no, you
I
have
don't
to
roll
vet.
like that.
You have
And
to
folks
vet. You
know that.
have to vet these people because like one of the candidates that's running, Bruce, I forget his last name, but he's on District
Let's go.
148 as the district president, and he
Vice
voted
president.
yes.
He's the vice president.
Vice president, okay, and he voted yes to the superintendent raise. So, you
What,
see, so
what do
so
they
it's
tell?
like, listen, you can't vote for
That's a
people
red
just
flag.
because. That's a huge red flag because you don't want to give the public an explanation on why you feel like it's okay. It's okay if you have an explanation or reasoning behind,
Yeah,
hey, I want to give this person this pay raise. This person has done this, and that.
right,
They have helped our schools. Our kids are now reading at this. But even
right.
if they're below average, they would start it off at this and then they
Yeah,
are here. You have to be able to explain everything that encompasses this pay raise because when you do
yeah.
your performance evaluations, that
Mhm.
is a key goal when your metrics when you get those raises. And how are we approving a raise if we don't know what the metrics are?
Right. And you know what? That's where, let me tell you, give a contract to a superintendent. My personal opinion, the community needs to know what's going on in the
Absolutely.
contract. So they can sit up and say, you know what? I can, you can be a better board member when you're listening to individuals that's bringing their children just 148. You
Are the
can't, it's
contracts
very
able to
difficult.
be FOIA'd?
It should be, yes.
Okay, I
That's
sent
our
out
tax
FOIAs. I'm
dollars we
just
get.
asking.
But a lot of times people will sit up there, I don't want, why not? Should be, hey, who's our boss? These parents in District 148. That now we know our Heavenly Father, but these
Right,
are my boss, these individuals in this community. These are the folks that I live with. These are the people that I shop with and go to store with and see them
right,
and their children. These are the individuals that's my boss, and I want them to always know Mr. Mickens got our back. And our children know that he
right.
got our back. That when my child comes in, my child say, I saw Mr. Mickens and he just encouraged me and he said this and that and blah, blah. Oh, just get paid being on the school board when they can go say, this is the caliber individual that I want, that have compassion,
Yeah,
that have raised children in District 148. It's
absolutely.
difficult when how can I tell you or my other parents, I ain't never had a child in the school district?
Exactly.
That, that, that's absurd.
It's
But
nuts.
we have to sit up now. Okay, Dalton, we have a new administration that's coming in. Now, yeah, we got to keep our eyes on Dalton, but we need to keep our eyes on District 148. Because if we
Absolutely.
don't, folks are going to be getting all kind of contracts. You're not going to know nothing about it, especially if you don't
Mm-mm.
come to the board meetings. And you sit up and say, well, they voted. Yeah, we represent you all, but we need to represent everyone and we need to be held accountable. So I
Absolutely.
want folks to say, Mr. Mickens, why did you vote this way?
Yeah.
Or why did you not vote this way?
Yes.
Because if it's not going to help our students, if it's not going to make us financially solid, that doing the right decisions and not just giving somebody a contract because they my boy or they my buddy. So I'm gonna sit up there and act like this isn't our money. We're supposed to handle District 148 money better than
Like,
we would
yeah.
our own. Because some people don't know how to handle their money. But
And that's
I'm
the
going to make
thing.
sure.
That's the thing when it comes to budget. Okay, so before I say this, let me let you tell everybody what you are running for in the school district. What is your platform? What are you standing on? And what do
Yeah.
you promise to bring to the children? Because it's very important. Now, I know you personally, I've already voted, so I'm not going to tell people who I voted for.
Yeah.
But I really think that people that have kids in school district 148 should consider voting you back into seat because you did raise kids in the school district. You still live in Dalton. You've been a
Yeah.
lifelong
44
resident
years.
of Dalton. You've been part of politics all over, so you know a lot of key people in the game. And I feel like you've shown what District 148 can do with successful kids because you raised pretty much majority all of your kids are successful. So let them know like
Point.
what your platform is.
Yeah, let me tell you, to encourage an open dialogue, with the community. The board, we must be more responsive to accept ideas from parents, naturally to increase the student academics. This is imperative what we
Mm-hmm.
should do, but we should always make sure that we have board members that's going to be on point and hold people accountable. Make sure our principals are on point. And no, we got your back, but you got to have
Yeah,
the parents back. You have to have them parents to feel very comfortable to be able to come into schools, to be able to say, you know
absolutely.
what, I like to just sit in on classroom to see what's going on. You can't be sitting up there telling parents they can't come. Not as long as Ernesto Mickens is on board. We have to make sure that we have the support, that's going to meet the needs of all the students. Like I said,
Right.
not just about technology, but how to be a well-rounded individual that's going to be able to leave District 148 and go on to be successful. To encourage these individuals and these children, you know what? I like to be an educator because I see what the board is doing. I know what Mr. Mickens is encouraging us. Hey, listen, this is a profession. This is an
Yeah.
honorable profession. And
Yeah.
I'm going to promote and encourage that. And if some children are not going to be able to, if some children are not college material, but
No,
I know that
they're
they
not
can do
all
they
college material. They are
train
not.
material. We need to make sure that we have individuals from not just the educational field, but the trade field to come in and start while they're young.
Can you
Say,
say
hey,
that
let's
again?
do
And that's
that.
so
You know,
very important and very valuable. It's funny you say that because my father, he's part of a trade program. So
yeah,
he did the automotive program for Olive Harvey, as well as the
okay,
automotive program for District 205. So you know that that automotive building that they have. My daddy is the one that helped consult to construct that.
okay,
Yeah, him. I heard that he worked with NAPO on that as well. I didn't. He was telling
okay,
me he knew NAPO. I didn't know he met him through that. But
yeah,
we need more trades inside the schools. When I went to Thornton,
absolutely,
Thornton had home ec. We had wood shop. I remember we had stagecraft. We had a whole bunch of different type of wood, classes
yeah,
that we could learn. Like I had learned how to build a full set stagecraft for plays.
hmm
Just taking a trade class, and I learned a lot. Home ec taught me how to sew. So it's like a lot
yeah,
of things that we used to do when I was in high school. I don't know if they still have those programs. I know that they have upgraded, like they have a musical
yeah.
place inside of Thornton for kids to make like tracks or whatever. But it's just like we have to make sure that these kids get trades and outlets so that they can use those, so they can see, hey, maybe I'm not good in college, but I'm good at building. Hey, maybe
Yeah.
I'm not good at college, but I can fix this car or I can build a scratch. Like we
Because
need more things.
these are individuals that parents are in trades, that
Mm-hmm.
parents have electrical, plumbing, business. Well, but we got to start them at an early age. A lot of my children's in education
Hello.
because I started. Children are what they see. So they say, hey, you know what? I like to go into education. This is a profession. They listen to me. Now, what if I was a carpenter? My sons and daughters will be carpenters. If I was a
Absolutely.
plumber, but we have to start them early. We have to encourage
Yes.
where they can sit up there and say, my daddy, my mother is successful. My father cleaned drainage from sewers. He
Mm-hmm.
knows that when you're doing it in city Chicago, when they're working on the sewer pipes outside, those same individuals cannot do it in the home. So, man, I can do this, but we got to start them at an early age because
Yes.
some of these trades they making more money than if you got a master's degree or PhD. They making money because I know
Hello.
so many individuals that went to Dunbar. Boy, them folks on point. I just got through talking to a tradesman. This man made part-time $120,000, and you know what he's doing? Plumbing. We got to
And I
start them
believe it.
early. Everybody,
Electricians,
now,
I mean, the
yeah,
electrician program is so wonderful for children that could take that and use it as a trade in life because
yeah,
electricians make good money. It's
yeah. And
it's
some
how do we get these trades inside the schools to actually show the kids like, hey, this outside of, we had career days growing up.
yeah,
Our parents would come in and
right.
talk about what they did for a living, but
Mhm.
it's like, how do we get these kids more involved? I guess that's my
Listen,
thing as a parent, and like something that I want to talk to other people
yeah.
about, because we have to figure out a way to keep these kids engaged long enough to keep them out of trouble, to
Yes.
allow them to learn, and that way they can be productive citizens, because we don't need any more kids growing up being corrupt, because it's already hard combating what Tiffany Henyard has just done to our village, right? So we
Yeah.
don't want to raise more Tiffany Henyards and then have people coming out and destroying us even more and planning attacks that we don't know about until it's too late. So it's like with the superintendent and his position, we can't even get him out right now because we're way behind on what's been going on because we haven't been following it. So it's like, how do we as parents get more
Listen,
involved and get wind of everything that's going on outside of
us
just going to the meetings?
us board members have to encourage y'all to come in. You have podcasts. Hey, invite the superintendent. Invite the assistant superintendent. Invite
Mm-hmm.
the principal. I mean, there's certain things they can't say because that means you're representing the whole district. But they know
Right.
how to sit up there and do a little chilling. They know how to
Yeah.
sit up there. I want to see that you're a human being. I want to see that you really have compassion for my children. I don't want to just see a piece of paper that's not telling me about who you are. I need
Yeah.
to see you up close in person so I don't have to sit up there and go to Springfield and stand on them tables and sit up and say, enough is enough. I feel
Mm-hmm.
pain. I'm going to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that we send people that's going to be vocal, that's not going to be timid. I don't need nobody timid. I don't need no yes person because our children,
Absolutely.
again, they're going to say, what were you all thinking? Now we got to
Yeah.
clean this mess up because you all sat on the sideline, didn't care, didn't want to come to the board meeting and say, hey, listen, can we have this? With parents that's coming from work, can you have the board meetings at 7 o'clock, not
Yeah.
4 o'clock? That's crazy. And when I was on the school board, I said, listen, let's push that back to 7 o'clock so parents have time to come home,
And
they
get
have
ready.
time to feed their children, get them ready, and come to the board meeting. Okay, we're not asking y'all to stay there for 3 and 4 hours, but give them time where they can come and see what's going on so they can
Right.
pay attention how we're voting. And why are you voting? Mr. Mickens, why did you vote this way? And then can't nobody tell me I can't tell them why I voted this way. I'm talking to my boss, these parents.
Right.
I'm sitting there looking at their children when I'm coming up in the schools. They saying, "Hey, Mister," and waving. You talking about feeling good when them children recognize you? I remember
Yeah.
Dr. Fitzgerald. She was the superintendent. I was the board president, and I
Mm-hmm.
went visiting different classes. And she came in the class and said, "I want to introduce you all to my boss." Here come Mr. Mickens walking there. Them little children, they was in a state of shock. They saw this Caucasian woman, the superintendent, introducing this black man as
As
her
his
boss.
boss.
This little boy looked at me. He said, "You, you hers boss?" I said, "Yes, sir. I am." You talk. Man to God, my sister, them children sat up and they looked at each other and it let them know if I can do it with the
You
help of
can
the
do it.
people in the community, and these folks voted me, and I explained the everything, the concept of being
Mm-hmm.
board president to them. Anybody can do it, but when they see somebody that look like them, it
Mm-hmm.
makes a world of difference. I'm
It does
telling
make
you,
a difference.
that's why it's important that we encourage our Hispanic brothers and sisters get involved
Diversity.
in what's going. You
Diversity
have
is
to.
definitely needed within all of our school districts. And I
Yeah,
hate that, it's part of the Trump administration, trying to get rid of it. But it's truly needed. And
it is.
I think
These
that our
children.
kids are losing out on a lot of role models that they could have,
Yeah,
because you're very right. When you're growing up as a kid and you're in school, your teachers are the ones that you spend most of the day with, 5 days a
yeah,
week. And so they can be impressionable or they cannot be impressionable. I've had some good
yeah,
teachers at Roosevelt and I've had some horrible teachers at Roosevelt.
yeah,
And Roosevelt shaped me a lot. I still hang with a lot of people. Jason House came out of Roosevelt. So people
yeah.
be like, why Dalton? Well, Dalton have some unique people. We do. We have
No,
some very unique people. And we're just a village that fought back. And I can't wait for this new administration to start, because like you said, the school district, the library board, the park district, hopefully they all can come together and work
yes,
together
ma'am.
and build that
Absolutely,
partnership, which I know that's what
absolutely.
Clean House 2025 has been
Mhm.
proposing. Once they get into office, they'll be able to build those collective
Right.
partnerships with all of the different districts. And then that way we can start back on, starting from scratch on building our village
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah,
And
and you know what? For this municipality should not want to dominate another. I want to run like in the past. Individuals sit up there and wanted to load up individuals in District 148, so they can vote for an individual for the attorney to represent District 148. I tried to go beyond the call of duty to keep politics out of District 148. This is the
they never
parent
do.
domain, so
It
we
just
have to,
happened at
hey,
142. So Tiffany Henyard, she got Darlene people to vote out Bert Odelson to vote in Delgado. So now District 149 is using Delgado law firm for right now, until hopefully the other candidates are able to win. That's
yeah,
on the District 149 slate, because I know three of them. I know it's whoever's on her ticket. They are even their petitions were signed by Tiffany Henry, like going out getting
mhm,
signatures for them.
yeah,
So people have to make sure that when you're voting for these school districts, you understand what's going on with these municipal school district lawyers too, because they
yes,
are
ma'am,
trying to get their people inside of these districts and steal money even
absolutely,
more.
absolutely. You know what I encourage? I told them, I said that I want these children when they come to school district 148 school board. I want them. I'm not against no other,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a black man. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pro-black. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Pan-African. I'm in love with my folks all over the world. I want them
Okay.
children to see an attorney that look like them.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody else do. I demand, hey, listen, if it's going to be a law firm, I want them to have somebody that look like I
That looks
want.
like
I like to have Hispanic, as to come with
Mm-hmm.
speaking Spanish. These children say, man, we have to be open for everyone. And that's something that I loved about Hill Washington. I was at a meeting and here, this one, he was the mayor, and he said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not the mayor for just, and it was at least 98% black. He said, I'm just not your mayor. He said, I'm the mayor for everyone. He said,
Yeah.
Hispanics have been locked out of government in Chicago. That's how Gutierrez and them got in.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be open for everybody. I got to sit up and care about these little Hispanic children because these children can exchange culture. And we got
Absolutely.
to demand that our children learn Spanish at a very early age. They need
And
to
you know,
learn it.
the funny part about that is my son went to a multicultural school, so it's like people from all different
Mhm.
backgrounds that went to
Yeah,
the school that he was at, and he was a different child every day coming home from school than he is coming home from Roosevelt. And he was learning things
yeah,
from, the
yeah,
different kids and the different cultures.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like now with Roosevelt, he's probably not learning much from the kids, unless it's something that he shouldn't be picking up on. So
yeah.
absolutely, dealing with different cultures definitely help kids inside of the
It
classroom
does.
setting.
It does.
And then it takes away their shock value from when, say, if they went to this school and it's all African American, but then when they went to college, it's
Mhm.
not, it's
Yeah,
more diverse. Then they don't know how to interact with people. But if you
right.
learn that when you were younger, then it's easier for you to acclimate yourself into the world and to
Mhm.
deal with everybody. It's
Yeah,
all about, I feel like, your teaching and
yeah,
your upbringing and just who you like you said, who you associate yourself with growing up.
yeah.
And like I said,
Yeah,
I've dealt with all cultures, so I think I'm very well versed. And my best friend is she's Caucasian. I just
yeah.
hung with her in LA this weekend. Hey Alexa, if you listen.
Mhm.
But so yeah.
You know what? Because I believe in including everyone, I just recently, a week ago, an individual told me, it's individuals that's running for District 148, sitting up there saying, yeah, that guy Ernesto, he's a migrant. I said, what?
What?
They said, I'm a migrant. Hey, there's some good people that's migrant, but
Right.
I'm not one,
Yeah,
but I'm
no, we
not against
know.
nobody. I said, why these folks that just say, yeah, he a migrant, Ernesto, and come
Probably
on
because your
now,
hair,
Pop.
your hair texture. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, listen,
That's funny.
I got my mother's, hey, my mother, is part Sicilian. My father is
Hmm.
black, my father, 761st All Black Tank Battalion. My father was black. A lot of black soldiers wanted to stay in Europe after the war because they felt they'd be better treated. My dad said, wait a minute. That's why we did this.
Hmm.
Victory in Europe, victory at home. He said, I'm going back home and I'm going to fight for freedom there.
Hmm.
And I thank God my father
Right.
made sure, along with my teachers, at Robert S. Abbott School, along with my teachers at Wendell Phillips High School, they made sure that we knew our culture. And that's something we need to know. We need to let our children know the rich culture that we have. And we're not going to allow nobody to sit up there and erase our culture and what we contribute to
Absolutely.
this country from the time 1619 at Virginia, Point Comfort. And that wasn't comfort for us. We were sitting up there, we were getting abused when we came this. So I don't want to hear that Point Comfort, which is now Hampton, Virginia. We got to make sure nobody's going to erase the contributions that we sit up there and we have accomplished in this country. And we're going to fight. We're going to march because you want to stop racism? Tell the truth in public education. Because then
Yeah.
the individual going to step and say, I didn't know they accomplished this. I didn't know that they did. I didn't know. My best friend is smarter than me. You know, that's how you uh, eliminate at least 75% of racism by telling the
Hmm.
truth in public school. And there ain't no way in this world if I got to march by myself, scream and holler by myself. I am
Hmm.
not going to let that house on Pennsylvania sit up there and try to destroy public education and destroy the contribution what we have made here in this
Listen,
country. The
that's
first black was
that's a
President.
whole nother conversation because
Boy,
there's so much going on there. And
and, and
with all of that.
it's going to start with District 148. It
Absolutely.
starts with us.
We have to start with our kids. So I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. So like just
Let me
taking
say,
away from
I'm,
everything that you
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm going to do all I can to make sure that we increase the academics, that we increase the learning for our children. I'm going to
Hmm.
make sure that we be responsible. with taxpayers' dollars. I'm going to do all I can to make sure we go after every state, every federal grant. I'm going to make
Mhm.
sure that I do whatever it takes to make sure that these parents say, hey, I know these board members going to do what's in the best interest of our children. And the only way that's going to happen is going to take partnership. I
Yeah.
can't do too much on the outside like I was doing on the inside. But like I say, as long as I got my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on my
Hmm.
side, that's the majority of the votes right there. As long as I have these parents that's going to say, hey,
Absolutely.
Mr. Mickens, I believe that you got our back and it's going to be transparency. You better believe. And I'm going to tell everything I see. I'm going to tell everything that I hear. When I go into closed session, when
Right.
I come out and folks them say, he didn't vote with the majority of them because they weren't thinking. So I'm gonna make
Hmm.
sure that I have not scrambled eggs up here, but sunny side up. People are
Right.
counting on me. Folks sit up there said,
Yeah.
Mr. Mickens, we need you back on that school board. I
We
said,
do.
no, man. You know, but only way that's gonna happen, you all got to make a wise decision. You have to
Absolutely.
make sure and look at the way these folks have voted. Let me tell you, there's some individuals that I'm a strong believer in, and I'm backing. That's Dr. Randall, who is the
Okay.
principal over at Roosevelt School.
Yeah,
There's
I know
Andrea
her.
Johnson, the individual Chuck Givens. These are individuals that voted against increase in
Okay.
a contract. You know,
Gotcha.
these individuals that I know because I work with them, that they
Right.
truly care. You know, I wouldn't put my name on the line for anybody unless they on point. Unless
Thank
they got
you.
integrity, I'm
Thank
not going to
you.
do. I don't care if it's my mother, father. If you wrong, you wrong.
If you're
You know,
wrong, you're wrong. And you don't
yeah,
want to align yourself with corruption because that puts a
not me.
stain on your name. And
Right,
if you've been in politics for so many years and your reputation is what is best precedes you, then you want to make sure that your name stays good and clean.
absolutely.
So,
And let me tell you, you know what? When we can. To me personally, if we have to pay people to represent us, then first start at the library board. First start at the school
absolutely.
board. First start at
The
the
park
park
district.
district board, where you don't get paid one penny. But at least you learn about parliamentary procedure. At least you learn about a variety of different things, the structures and grants and things of that nature. Then come to me and say, you know what? I think I'm graduating. I think I'd like to serve you in this capacity. It's a stipend. And then I can say,
Hmm.
you know what, you deserve it. But don't come to me and you never ran for none of them and you want me to sit up there and say, okay, well, come on now. But we got to have
Exactly.
transparency. We got to hold everybody accountable and start with me. And we need to run a check on these people's backgrounds. If we voting for
Thank
you, I want
you.
to know that you're
Hello.
not no felon. I need to know, like when I was running the bowling program for Thornton Township, I was the manager of special service,
Hmm.
and individuals wanted to volunteer, you know, with my God special people, my bowlers, and I would take
Hmm.
them to Special Olympics. I said, well, you know what, we have to run a check on your background with the state police. Well, why? I said, because you're gonna be around my children.
Right.
I got to make sure that you're the right caliber individual. We need to make
Absolutely.
sure that board members, if you're going up in these schools, I want to make sure you're not no child molester. I want to make
Thank
sure that
you.
you on point. I don't want no criminal handing my tax
Miss,
dollars.
let me shut
And
up.
I told them
Mm,
when I was on the school board, I said, hey, if we're
allegedly.
telling we got to run checks on teachers' backgrounds and individuals that's worked for District 148, then I say, what about the board? Let's start with me. Run a check on my background. And people,
Thank
oh
you.
no, this and that. No, I want to know who's sitting by me. I want to know that these parents gonna say, you know what? I don't mind Mr. Mickens coming into school because I don't think he's gonna be looking at little girls. You
Hello.
know, been in Dalton 44 years. No one can sit up and say I flirted with no one. Nobody can sit up and say Mr. Mix was at the school district and he was sitting up there going into schools, looking in and talking to teachers. Nobody could. It's business. And I know my heavenly Father's watching everything that I do. And I'm just
Hmm.
asking the public, give your guy an opportunity to bring
Please.
transparency at a District 148 school board. Because I'm gonna tell you all everything, and people know it too. They know it, so they think we don't need him on it. Because I'm gonna make you do some work. I'm gonna make you earn.
So
going to all these
question.
luxurious.
So question. If for
Okay,
some
yeah.
reason you don't get the votes that you need to succeed,
It's
I need your word that you'll still help me fight with District 148 for transparency because we
I,
need it.
I give you my
I
word.
pray that people vote for you and that you can help get in there and help change things because I know you have done a wonderful job in District 148. I know that when I graduated, you gave me my diploma as well. So, I know that you have been very instrumental in our community for years. You've been here longer than I have been here. So we
44
do,
years.
yes,
And let
we
me tell you,
value and
I,
appreciate you and all of you have done. And
I
when it
give
comes to
you,
education, I just want people to know that he raised some very, and I call myself intelligent. I think I'm very bright. I have a master's degree, but he have raised some very intelligent children. And it's not to take no shade away from me because I was never as smart as his kid. We had conversations about this, but he cares about education for our kids. And that's most important right now is our educational system and getting people in there that can help clean up this corruption. And we need
yeah,
somebody in there that is good and that is not a yes man and that will give
not
us
me.
feedback. And I promise y'all, if he do get that vote, you guys have my word that I'll stay on him. I know Ernesto personally. So I will stay on
Hey,
him because if he's voting like he's not supposed to vote, we as the parents, we have to speak
hey,
up about that.
absolutely. Amen. Let me tell you, my daughter, Vella, she's graduating May the 17th from LSU
Mm-hmm.
Law Center. She
That's
said,
excellent.
Daddy, she's preparing right now to take the bar exam. She said,
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, I'm going to, and she said this like 3 years ago. She said, and she's constantly saying, I'm going to come back to District 148 and I'm going to do all I can to encourage these children. If I can sit up and graduate from law school, pass the
Yeah,
bar, you
that's
can too.
awesome.
She said,
That's
I
awesome.
want to come and speak to the children. And she looks like she's about 15 years old. So they're going to say, what? You an attorney? I give you my word. No matter what direction the Lord take this election,
Yes.
I'm going to be active. I
I
gave
want us
my
to
word
work
44
together
years
with
ago.
District 148, no matter how the outcome of this election
Right.
is, because we have a lot of work to do for our children within the school
Yes,
district. And
ma'am.
I need as much support and help that I can get with just knowing what's going on, knowing, the people that are
Mhm.
in place, just
Yeah.
just being a parent and knowing like what activities are planned for our students. Like we have to really take a step back, reevaluate everything, look at what's going on today before this election, and then what's going on the agenda after this election. So
Yeah.
we can have total transparency. So
I'm giving you
I'm
my
not gonna
word in
thank
front of
you.
everyone that
Yes.
I'm
And
going
I
to
have
stay,
this
like I
video, it's
said,
gonna be on live.
40, let me tell you, 44 years ago, I gave people my word that I wasn't going anywhere. And
Yeah,
I'm still
absolutely.
here. And this wolf, I'm not going nowhere. And I know his folks say, I wish he was going about his business. We got to look over our shoulder and all. But I give you my word, my sister. It's our
Yes.
future. It's my
Thank
future.
you.
These
And
children are going to
I'm
go
going to talk
forth
to you
and move
off
on.
topic about something else within the school district. I'm gonna send you an email too. But
Okay.
I do appreciate you coming on this platform. I do appreciate you giving us information into District 148. I do want to circle back with you in like a month or so after the
Yes,
elections. If
ma'am.
you win,
Oh,
lose, draw, whatever, I still want you to
I'm
come
good.
back on here and then we can see what's going on with maybe like after another meeting or two. Then that way
Yeah.
we can see what's going on, see who's voting for what, and
Yeah.
just how the temperature of District 148 is after the elections. That's my
And
that's my
win
big
or
thing
lose,
right now.
you can learn from losing like you can learn from winning. I'm here
Absolutely.
to stay. I'm not going nowhere. This
Thank
is
you.
my home. These children, enjoy seeing them and their parents. Look, we're going to make this happen no matter what. I'm
Absolutely.
going to be talking to you and others. What can I
Yes.
do better to make
Yes.
things better for our community and our students and these parents? For
Yes.
folks to step and say, you know what? I think we got something going on here. You know, I'm not one that's going to be out there screaming, hollering, acting a fool. That's not in my character. But I am going
Mm-mm.
to be one that's going to speak my mind and let it be known. When my
Right.
community feel pain, I feel pain. When these
Yes.
children are unhappy and not getting what they need, then I'm going to scream and holler and I'm going to shout until we resolve the problem, because we
Yes.
cannot afford to fall by the
No.
wayside, especially not now with what's happening on Pennsylvania Avenue
Absolutely.
in Washington, D.C. So let's all get together and do our part and demand all these elected officials, let's get together and make things happen, because we know who our
Absolutely.
boss is, and that's the voters. They are.
Absolutely. We
So
are.
hey, enjoy. I thank you all,
Well,
and God
thank
bless
you,
each
and
and
happy
every
Friday
individual.
to you. I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate you for coming on my platform. I hope that everybody understands that this next election is very important. April
It is.
1st
Yes, it
is
is.
a very valuable, very important election for Village of Dalton. Is for the Dalton Park District, Dalton
Yes,
Library Board, and
yes.
School District 148, as well as School District 149. I don't vote
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
149, but 149 is just as important as
Yes, it is.
148. And 149 has corruption going on in there too. And believe me, if y'all vote for Tiffany Henyard's people, y'all are going to
Mm.
lose out on the what the children need for District 149. So I
You
thank
keep
you.
doing what you're doing
I
and keep
will.
screaming and hollering, because we need folks like
I
you
will.
and
I
others,
will.
all the
I will.
podcasts. So keep screaming,
I
and we're
will.
going to make it a lot better. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All
Well, I
right.
appreciate you. I thank you so much for coming on here. And
Yeah.
you have a wonderful day. Is there any last things you want to
Yeah.
say before we
No,
end?
I like to
All right.
say, please
What's
come
your
out
punch
and
number?
vote.
Tell them punch
It's
what?
146. That's my punch number. I'm right in the
146.
middle of the pack. It's
Okay.
146. So let's all do our part. Come out and vote. That's
Yes.
imperative. That's
We
how
have
we can
to.
affect and let people know that we're watching, we're listening, we're going to hold you accountable. If you don't
Yes.
vote for me, just come out and vote.
Just come
Please
out and
come out
vote.
and vote.
And
That's
not
what I'm
only
begging
that,
and asking.
this election is basically all new people, that not
Yes,
all
it
new for the
is.
village of Dalton, but the village of Dalton has a whole new way of how they're vibing versus the
Yeah.
last election. So you guys have to understand that even with Thornton Township election, we have to make sure that we are getting the right people into
Yes, Lord.
office, because
Yes,
we need our township to actually help in some capacity with our children as well, and with mentoring programs.
absolutely.
So again, the township ticket, I'm not supporting the Democrat. I mean, I'm supporting the Democratic Party right now. I'm not supporting the Republican ticket with Richard Nolan. I'm not supporting his trustees. I'm not supporting his highway commissioner. I've already voted. I can't tell people who to vote for, but I believe that the Democratic Party slate has good candidates on there. And we need to make sure that we are giving them enough chance to come in and do what they need to
Yeah.
do and build partnership, because I know that they will work with 2025. They will work with the park district as well. We have to be able to bring all of our community organizations or
Yes,
government
ma'am.
entities back together and let them work all as one. So thank
And you
you,
know what?
thank you,
You
thank
will.
you.
And listen, tell them folks that's running for Thornton Township, bring back my bowling program for my
You know
God
what?
special people.
You know
Bring
what?
them
We need
back.
to discuss that off topic, because
Yeah.
yes, we can definitely see about putting that into play. Even though I can't bowl no more, bowling
Yeah.
is done for
But
me.
you know
But
what? My bowling buddies, they they still contact me. And
right.
I thank God that this population know when you really care, and they keep me abreast of what's going on.
I forgot
So
you did
please
have
bring the bowling buddies.
so if y'all don't know, he's actually done things with the township also.
Yeah, I was the manager of
So
special
he had
service
a
there
bowling
in
program through
October.
Thornton Township. He was a
Yeah,
manager. Yes.
yeah, up under Frank Zuccarelli, and I had. Well, you talking about our bowling? My bowlers would go to Special Olympics, and they would be on point, boy. Ooh, Lord, boy, we had a good time. Bring it back. Come
And we
on now. I don't
definitely
know.
will have those conversations.
Yeah.
April 1st, April
All
2nd.
right.
And remember, the next meetings are like the second and the third
Yeah.
Thursday. So we definitely will bring that up
Yeah.
once we get our new leadership into office. We just have to get rid of. She's not gonna get rolled in anyway, so that's not gonna happen. But again,
So
thank
please,
you,
let's make
thank
it
you.
better.
I'm
So
not gonna
I
stop.
want,
So to everybody out there, we're not gonna stop. We have to demand that our kids get the
amen.
top-notch education that we're
Amen.
putting into the system, and we have to make sure that we have the right people in there that's going to
Yeah.
want to do the work for the children. We
Yeah.
can't
And
have
thank you.
people that want to do the work for their buddies because all they're doing is paying their friends. So,
That's it. And thank you
so
for allowing me to be able to start off with a prayer. Thank you
thank
so,
you.
so
Oh,
much.
thank you for blessing the platform before you started. So
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
All right. You take care.
All
God
right.
bless
All
each and
right.
every
Well,
one of
bye,
y'all.
everybody. I appreciate
Oh,
y'all for joining in. Thank y'all
yeah.
for watching this live. Have a great Friday. Talk to you guys later.
All
Bye.
right. Take care. Peace.
Bye.